Calaroga Shark Media.
Hi, I'm Johnny Mac. My phone is blowing up with people asking me about this Howard Stern story, so I thought, let me just record a commentary episode. I'm not working off a script. I'm just talking off the top of my head. In case you missed it, the U.S. Sun was the original source of this. The U.S. Sun last week. Let me pull up the proper headline just to get it right. The Howard Stern Show to be canceled after nearly 20 years, right? So canceled is a loaded word in 2025. The U.S. Sun, and I'll let you for yourself decide where that is in terms of reporting, somewhere between the New York Times and Daily Comedy News, whatever you think of the U.S. Sun. This is from the U.S. Sun. An insider said, Stern's contract is up in the fall, and while Sirius is planning to make him an offer, they don't intend for him to take it. Sirius and Stern are never going to meet on the money he's going to want. It's no longer worth the investment. After you saw what happened with Stephen Colbert, it's just like they can't afford to keep him going. Okay. So once we say the word cancel, now we're also talking about Stephen Colbert. Forget about the Stephen Colbert of it all. Put that totally to the side. This has nothing to do with this. The source claims if Sirius isn't going to give Stern a good offer, I don't think it would have anything to do with his ratings. It's more likely everything to do with the political climate. Now, we'll see some more nonsense articles talking about how many people are listening to Howard, and I will get into that as well. Listen to me. Here's the premise of everything I'm going to say. And I say this as somebody who was already listening to WNBC was I even a teenager yet when Howard first came to WNBC? I was already a listener to the station, and then this guy named Howard Stern started doing afternoons. I followed him to K-Rock. I was at Sirius Satellite Radio when the deal was announced. I was in Los Angeles the morning it was announced. I was there when Howard came on board, and we had fewer than 1 million subscribers, if I remember the numbers correctly. And I will tell you this, there is zero chance. I'm not leaving the door open a crack. Zero chance that Howard Stern is going to come back from summer vacation and be like, yep, that's it, Robin. We're doing 9-10 more weeks, and that's it for my career. No way. Okay? I've heard people refer to the Derek Jeter farewell tour. That's what you're going to get. Remember when Johnny Carson, maybe you don't, because I'm ancient. Those of us who remember when Johnny Carson stepped down, you're going to get that. I always predicted Howard would do a 2-year farewell tour, and I'm still not sure that he won't. I guarantee you he does at least a 1-year farewell tour. Now, write this down, because people are just being stupid. Write this down, okay? Howard has not really been in the news for like 15 years, and now everybody's talking about him every day. He loves that. He absolutely loves that. Here's what's going to happen. He's going to come back in September off the summer break, and he's going to lightly talk about the rumors. He's going to dangle. He's going to say phrases like, I don't know what's going to happen, Robin. He's going to joke about how they're getting to the end. He is going to milk this for the entire fall. And on the very last day into Christmas break, so I'm not sure how late into the month Howard works these days, but maybe Thursday, December 11th, maybe Thursday, December 18th. If I have to pick, I'm going to pick Thursday, December 11th. Howard and Sirius announce, oh yeah, we've extended the deal. Now, will he get $100 million reportedly this time? I don't know. I have seen in the entertainment industry people renew for less and do less work. Now, I don't know how much less work Howard could possibly do with the summers off and the 3-day weeks, but both sides are going to want the farewell tour. They are going to want every celebrity coming in, Lady Gaga, Paul McCartney, all the greats coming in and telling Howard how wonderful he is as he tries to cement this legacy that he's not the shock jock. He's not the person that did the Ted Danson sketch. He's not lesbian dial-a-date guy. He's not bestiality dial-a-date guy. He's the respectful, great interviewer that he's been trying to spin these last few years. There will be a farewell tour. The idea that Howard Stern is just quietly going to go into the night, no way. And conflating this with Colbert, that's just nonsense. Some more nonsense going around is this nonsense that Howard Stern has an enemy at SiriusXM. Again, the source on all this, the U.S. Sun. I'll let you determine how much you enjoy the writing of the U.S. Sun. So this version of the story, which got amplified by Page Six, who are sourcing The Sun, is that SiriusXM executives have to, quote, take pains to keep Alex Cooper and Howard Stern from running into each other. Now, please understand the geography of the Sirius headquarters in New York City, where I worked for 10 years. Now, I haven't been in the building in 10 years, so maybe, perhaps, possibly, there's been a major change, but I do know some former coworkers, and no one has mentioned this to me. When I was there, Howard was off in his own compound. You couldn't get into Howard Land unless your key card would let you into Howard Land. Mine did not. And you never, ever, ever, ever saw Howard Stern, except if you happened to be in the lobby when he was leaving for the day, walking from Howard Land to the freight elevator, which he would take down because you don't want to ride the civilian elevator. You might run into some civilians. You didn't see him in the hallway. You didn't see him in meetings. You didn't see him in the bathroom. He's off in Howard Land. So this idea that, I don't know, he's going to run into the hallway and see Alex Cooper, even if Alex Cooper happened to be standing in front of the freight elevator, it would be a 6-second encounter. An insider told The Sun, she's the one that bugs him. She gets hundreds of millions of hits. She has this mega $125 million deal, and he hates that this young bubbly woman is the new thing. They have to keep Howard away from her. They have to keep Howard away from when she comes to New York. So he's there 3 days a week. I don't know how often she's there. This is a non-story. The source claimed it's completely turned Howard's world upside down. He's been in radio 40 years, and this change has really shocked everyone. Alex and Joe Rogan, these massive podcasters, have traditional radio guys stunned. This is all silly. I am also a college professor, and I have walked people through the math of the Howard Stern deal for over a decade. Now, Sirius these days has a trillion different plans, and I try to look into it, and I don't understand it. But the math, the way I used to teach it, when I worked there, Sirius was $13 a month. Okay. Now, how many people do you think came over for Howard? When Howard came over, we had around 1 million subs. They've eventually got up to 30 million subs. Do you think 1 million people came over for Howard Stern in 2006? Is that an absurd number? Let's use that number. So if 1 million people came over and paid $13 a month for 12 months a year, that's $156 million. You give $100 million to Howard, you make a $56 million profit. If the number's not 1 million, if it's 2 million, now you're making some serious change. I saw a report the other day that said Howard's audience is down to only 125,000 listeners. I don't know where someone would get that number from. When I worked there, you had no way to know who was listening to what on the satellite radios. You could look at internet data and extrapolate it from streaming. Maybe the newer radios have some two-way capabilities that I'm not aware of. Maybe somebody did a survey with Nielsen audio. I don't know. But fine. I'll accept your number. If we multiply 125 by 12 by 13, we would reach 19,500,000. So if the value of Howard Stern at that calculation is $19.5 million, then you wouldn't be able to pay him $100 million. But you could pay him $20 million, get the Howard Halo effect, do the farewell tour, and what you'll get from him is $20 million worth of work. So whatever he's doing now, you'd get a fifth of that. And in the end, we used to joke when I worked there, you don't actually have to do the show. You just need the press release to go out. So as I wrote in my Substack, link in the show notes, Howard could work, 15 days next year. As long as it's the right 15 days and it's the maybe the January birthday party, the big farewell event. Could Howard sell out the Garden once? I think he could. If Weird Al can, I think Howard Stern can. Maybe you do a big event there. You do a couple farewell things. Paul McCartney comes in. Lady Gaga comes in. Tom Hanks comes by. You do 15 of those. Here's 20 million, Howard. That might be enough. Now, I'm not saying he's going to do 15 shows, but maybe he's going to make a little less, work a little less. But the idea that Howard Stern is just going to come back and be like, Robin, we got 9 weeks left. It's been a great 40 years. Zero chance. And that is some bonus commentary for today. I'm going to do another bonus commentary tomorrow about Marc Maron. I do not intend on doing this every single day, but I just had 2 topics on my mind that I wanted to share with you back in the morning with a normal episode.